Okay, here is a recap of what you should have been able to accomplish in day one of the intermediate level in CodeHS. The first thing, and I know the first day, new material, three different options. A couple of you did this. I'll work with you. You'll get caught up. You should be working in Unit 5, Advanced HTML and CSS. If you're choosing the intermediate route, you are working in Unit 5. I have probably three or four of you in each class that started out in Unit 2. That is the beginning level. If you want to continue in the beginning level, you need to change and look at the option to join on that green circle for beginner and choose the beginner class. Okay. That said, I'm going to skip through all videos. I'm going to skip through all quizzes. I'm going to skip through all examples. I'm just going to cover the exercises because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to have the most questions. That said, you should not skip the videos. You should not skip the quizzes, and you should not skip the exercises because the videos typically highlight the concept that you're going to be seeing and working with. It shows you an example of it being applied, and then you have a quiz to kind of follow up what was covered in the video. Then you have examples that show what they just talked about in the video. Then you're going to apply it. So if you skip any of those steps, you're going to be very confused. Some of you may not be skipping steps and may be confused, and I do get that. But hopefully it becomes more familiar to you as we go. So the goal was to cover three sections. So we're going to start right here. The first section was getting started with advanced HTML and CSS. There was a video and three examples. There was actually nothing to do, okay, but that video was important that you watched, looking through the examples of how you can apply classes to images, some different things you can do there. So that will be something you'll want to look at, but there was nothing actually to turn in. So really all you had to do for the first level was watch the video, click through some examples. Okay, then we get to the next option, sorry, I don't know why I said option, the next level. This is lesson 5.2. Again, there's a video, there's a quiz, there's an example. If you watch the video, you look through the example, hopefully you have a better idea of what to do when you get to the exercise. So there's three exercises. We're going to start with the first one. We got some awesome construction going on while I'm trying to record this, so hopefully it doesn't disturb you too much. All right, so this exercise is adding a style sheet. Okay, it tells us to add a CSS file named style.css to this project, make all the images 100 by 100, give the list items a font size of 24. This is something I've tried to go over within class, but the first thing we're going to do to create that style file, we're going to go to New, File, and we're going to call this style.css. And now we want to create style rules. This is what we went over in class Tuesday. I know it was brief. This is what I normally would spend a little bit more time going over, but we're trying something new here. So you're going to create the rules exactly how you would inside a style section in an HTML page. So if you go back and look at the last couple of things we did in Unit 2, you'll notice in the head section, we had a style section, and then we had our elements that we were styling. We're going to use that same format. The difference is we are not going to have to do a style. We're not doing the greater than, less than. I'm just going to type IMG because I want to change a style with the images. I'm going to use curly brackets here, and I'm going to do the width of 100 pixels, and I'm going to do the height 100 pixels, and anything using an image tag will get that width and height. All right, also for the list items, I want them to be 24 font size, so I'm going to do LI for list item, and I'm going to do font size 24 px for pixels. And if I go to my index, which is actual file, if you notice all those LIs, it will apply to every one of those. These images down here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images. All of that will be applied. I need to check to make sure this link is done for us on this level. That's normally something you'll have to do yourself. It is exactly the same for every single CSS file you're going to link. The only difference is the name of the file. All right, it's always link rel equals style sheet type text \CSS. Some of you today I showed you we didn't do that. You can leave that out and it'll still work. But then the href, the key is the rel style sheet and the href. Style CSS, I named it style CSS because that's what my CSS file is named. If my file for my CSS was called purple flower, it would be href purpleflower.css. All right, so that's linking this style sheet to your file. Now, if I reload, all right, my list items are correct. My images are all 100. All right, that was that. Okay, so I'm going to save. I'm going to submit and continue. And when you're checking, you should have all green boxes. There are a couple of folks that did it correctly, and some images didn't get the 100 by 100. They're slightly off. If you did it just how I showed you, don't worry about it. I'll see that when I go to review it. Okay, we're going to move to the next exercise, which is dividing the site. So now it says this website has only a home page. You want to add the following 3 files: compiled, scripting, style. Okay, we just added style, so that's a little bit confusing, but I digress. Okay, make sure every HTML page has a title and the style sheet is linked. All right, in index, add a link to scripting. You just show them for, okay. So I'm just going to go through one by one. So let's go ahead and create the files first. So I'm going to go to my assignment. I'm going to create these files. I'm going to go to new file, compiled.html, new file, scripting.html, new file. And I guess this is new material, so that's why we're going to have another style.css. Notice it said .css. All right, this says make sure every HTML page has a title. Here's what I'm going to do to save some time. I'm going to copy all of this from the index page just because I'm going to need a body. I'm going to need all that stuff for all of them. I'm going to go to scripting and I'm going to do Control V. And I'm going to delete everything inside the body, but I'm not going to delete the body. So I'm just kind of deleting the page content. I'm going to change the name of the page from programming languages right now to scripting until it tells me to do something else. I'm going to do the same thing in the compiled page. I'm going to paste all of the code from the index page and delete everything inside the body. And I'm going to change the title of the page to compiled. And the reason I went ahead and did that is I need to have a head section to put the link for the CSS file. So I just need to do this one time inside the head. I'm going to go less than link, just like we saw a second ago, style sheet. And again, I'm just leaving, the type I'm leaving out right now. It should still work. And it is going to be style CSS. And now I can copy that link on line 4, link rel style sheet href styles. I'd better go ahead and do it the right way. I don't need to. So I think it was type and it was text.css. So let me do that. Okay, don't forget your greater than at the end. Copy, and then I'm going to go to my scripting page inside the head. I'm going to paste that link, compiled inside the head. I'm going to paste that link, and it's already there in index. So I added those 3 files. Every HTML page has a title, and the style sheet is linked. I did that in index. Add a link to scripting. So I'm going to go to index. This link right here to compiled is I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to do an A tag, href equals. The name of the page I want to link to is called scripting.html. I'm going to close that A tag. And then I just want to move that closing A tag after the word scripting languages /A. And now I made a link, okay? It also tells me, it says add a link back to index at the bottom of compiled and scripting. So I'm gonna go into compiled and scripting. In the body, I'm just gonna do right now a simple href equals index.html. And I'm going to type the word home. I'm going to copy that because I'm going to do the exact same thing here. Then I'm just going to paste it. All right, so that gives me a link to the home page on compiled and scripting. So I've done that, and it says use the following styles. All right, the body should have font family Arial. So now is where I'm going to go to this style, the body. So I'm going to do the rules as they tell me. The body, curly bracket, font family Arial. All right, LI, which is a list item, should have a font size 18 pixels. All right, and then the links, which is the A tag, so I'm going to do A. The color should be light sea green. All right, and I'm going to close. And the home page should look like this, popular programming languages. Okay. So I'm going to save. I'm going to go to output. I'm going to refresh my. All right, if I go to compiled languages, I should see a link to home. I go to scripting languages, I should see a link to home. All right, and I've got my pages linked together. I've got my CSS file, and it's linked to all the pages. If you notice, when I go to these pages, the link is that light sea green because I linked this style sheet to all those pages. So I should be able to submit and continue. Okay, this one I should have 4 li tags. So let me go back and see what directions I missed. Okay, so I didn't. It just says put this list in compiled. So I'm going to go to compiled, and I'm going to just do a UL. Then I'll have an LI, Java, LI, C, LI, C++, LI, C sharp. Okay. And then scripting. Okay, I want to have all those. And yeah, those are all bulleted. Okay. And then I want to do the same thing. So for scripting, I want to do, again, a UL for unordered list. I'll have an LI, a list item for Python, a list item for JavaScript, a list item for Ruby, Perl, and then we're just completing that list that's to the right there. These are all different scripting languages. Okay, now I can submit and continue, and I should be good to go. Okay. All right, career site, creating structure. So this is actually starting the project you're going to work throughout. So again, I'm going to get started. Okay, and when we get started here, this will be the start of your career profile website. You will be adding a different part in most of the following lessons. All right, step 1, let's get the skeleton of the site implemented. Let's start with index, give it a title. So here is where I would probably, since this is going to be the project, I would start using VS Code. There's not much there. I would just kind of go back and forth with these directions. So let's give it a title. The name of the career going to be about. All right. So then look at job info, contain detailed job information, and so on. All right. So that's just kind of showing what should be there, and it's already there. Let's add a few items. Let's add the following items to index in this order. Okay, so I'm going to just do it in here, but again, this is where you may want to use VS Code if you need that help from the starter. So for example, I could do this side by side as best I can and then copy and paste it over. I'll show you that method. Okay, so again, let's just say I want this to be I'm a teacher, so I'll do a career on teaching. Okay, H1. All right. I'm just going to do education. Okay, that'll be the career field. An H2 tag that describes what the industry or general study is. So or education. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. A paragraph containing a few sentences about why you're interested in this career. It's okay if you don't know much yet. Again, I'm going to be brief, but you can just kind of get the idea. I do want you to spend a little bit more time thinking this through. I'm a teacher, so it makes sense to use this career. Okay. And if I could spell career, that would be even better. Okay. All right, and then a link to jobinfo.html labeled more information. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to do a paragraph, and then inside that paragraph, I'm going to do an A tag, href equals, and the name of the file that I want to link to is jobinfo.html. I'm going to close opening A tag, and then within that, more information. So I'm putting the link inside a paragraph tag. Okay, so that code is what I'm going to use on my index. I'm just going to copy that from VS Code, and I'm going to replace my index with that. Okay. And this says add the following items to jobinfo.html. Okay, so what I'm going to do from there, I'm just going to copy all of this code I just copied over, and I'm going to go to job info, and I'm going to actually paste that and just change it for now. Okay. So instead of teaching, I'm going to get specific and just do high school teacher. Okay. That's my title. I can also title this just job info would be another option that may be less confusing because that's more of what it's going to be. All right. So I'm going to change my H1 to the specific career, not just the career field. High school teacher. All right. And then an H3 tag containing the heading's description. So 4 H3 tags. So I'm going to do 4 H3 tags. So I'm going to copy that first one, do Control C, and then I'm going to do a paste. Oops. Paste it again. So the first is description. Second is going to be average salary. Employers and related careers. And then a link to index called home. So I'm just going to change this down here to index, and I'm going to change more information. If you notice, once you get a feel for what you're doing, you're really just copying, pasting, and changing things that already exist. All right, and I'm getting rid of this sentence right there. All right, that's on my job info page. And then step 3, let's add a few styles to the style. So we're going to go to style. It says make all H3 tags uppercase. So we're going to do this, H3, text, transform, uppercase. Make all paragraphs right aligned with the Arial font family. So that would be paragraph, so P. I'm going to do text align, right, and then the font family, Arial. All right, give the body a very light background color. So I'm going to do background color. I'm just going to use light blue. Okay, make all links have the font size 16 and an italic font style. So A is our link. We're going to do font size 16 pixels. Then we're also going to do font style italic. All right. And then let's look at the output. So let's go to job info. Let's refresh. More information home. So I probably want to fix the italics. I don't think that's working. This is where VS Code comes in handy. So let's just say I want to do this and do font. Oh, sorry. I'll do an A. Font style.
Good afternoon, Warrior Nation. We hope you had
that should
a
have worked.
wonderful
Okay.
day today. We do have one announcement. It is for our beta members. Reminder that you have until October the 18th to sign up for the beta convention in Savannah. Come by C9 with your deposit to get a seat on the bus. Students, we're very grateful that you are here today.
And our afternoon announcements are cutting into my lesson, so hopefully they don't last forever.
To discover your why, find your place, make a positive impact. Students will be dismissed at the bell.
So I noticed the reason none of that was working is I did not link my CSS file. That is a very common mistake. So I'm going to do link rel equals style sheets href equals style.css. I want to link that in my index, copy it, also link that in the job info. And now let's see if let's go back. We'll see if we can figure out what's going on. If I submit and continue, our index should have an H2 and a P. Alrighty, the bell is ringing and I've got an FBLA meeting coming up, so I will pause the video right here and pick up here in a moment.